what is the true essence of black girl magic? Each week, I sit down for a deep and meaningful conversation with some of Africa's most inspiring women and hear their stories of love, loss, and second chances. My name is Dawn Faith. Join me on this journey of discovery.
Don't you ever give up, don't you ever give up. God hears the whisper of your heart.
Some of you may remember my conversation a few weeks ago with Nandi Madida, during which she shared about the challenges of dealing with loss and grief as a young woman. Today we pick up on that same theme with the wildly talented singer and TV personality Tamarsha Khanyile. By the time Tamarsha was 24, she had lost both her parents and has since had to navigate the pathway to womanhood solo. As you'll see from our chat, the pain of her parents' death is still very raw, which I think is something many of us can relate to. We also spoke about fried chicken, big thighs, and what it means to call God your homie. This is my seriously deep and meaningful conversation with Tamarsha Khanyile. I won't do the things you say. I'll do for sure. Something in my mind is telling me you don't think I'm faithful. I might get insecure. I might get insecure with you.
So let it go.
Yeah. So what I want to know is that Tamarsha, who wrote those songs, that Tamarsha who wrote an album that went on to be nominated for the Summers.
Yeah.
Who was she, and what is the difference between who you are now and who you were? That's almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And who you were 10 years ago.
Ooh, I can safely say I was young, I was open, I think because I was young, I was also just like a little bit more carefree. I said everything I wanted to say at that age, even though for me, I didn't necessarily always understand all the things I was saying and the things that I wanted to project about myself. But I knew that like I had some sort of an idea and I used to put that into the music.
Okay.
Now, I'm obviously a lot more grown up and I am a lot more aware.
Yeah.
So I have a bit more consideration for the choices that I make now as an older person.
Yeah.
Than I did, obviously, when I was much younger. But I think it's just kind of like solidified, you know, my substance as a person. It solidified my direction in music. And just kind of the love for being able to still write and be inspired to write and sing, because I think that's the real thing. For me, I just enjoy singing.
Yeah. What is it about singing? What, like in you, what is it about singing that makes you love it so much?
It's like it's got like this magical thing about it. Like music has the ability to change your perception about certain situations. And if you find yourself in like a moment where you're either discouraged or you're not like doing too well in a particular situation, you can always find a song to reference that feeling.
That feeling too, that's true actually, isn't it?
Always. It doesn't ever change. It doesn't matter how old you are.
There's still a song for each season.
There's a song for every single day of your life. And I think that carries a lot of weight in people's lives. And I think I want to be the kind of person that gives people those feelings.
But what is it about you? Like, what does music do to you? Like, I get what it does externally, and I get the universal language that it creates. And gives, but like for you, why are you so passionately in love with music than you are with being, I don't know, a waitress? What is it about music?
This is beautiful. I see the beauty in music.
Yeah.
And I'm attracted to it.
Okay.
So I think there's just like some sort of synergy, and everything always works for me in music.
Okay.
my life kind of unfolds the way that I feel like it should.
Yeah.
When I am a part of music as opposed to when I'm not.
Okay.
So I've always almost been compelled to be a part of music because
Okay.
things always go right.
Okay. It fits you.
It fits, just kind of my personality, my life, and the achievements that I want to just kind of attain. But ultimately, just as an individual, I think it's taught me a lot of patience. And yeah, it's just like, it's a beautiful feeling, girl.
Yeah.
The vibes keep moving on.
Yeah.
But just like finding a way of not making it feel old
Okay.
for you is kind of like the trick.
Okay.
And the tricky part.
To constantly stay in love with it.
Yeah, to constantly like be faithful to that.
Yeah.
Which you like achieving in
Right.
the work and the music, of course.
Okay.
So that's kind of like the feeling that I
That's
get
it for
from
you.
it.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. The reason I wanted to ask is that, as you know me, I've done like just about everything that there is to be
To do,
done.
yeah.
But for me, still music is that place that I go to. So I always say music for me is my first love. And I can have affairs with a
With other
bunch of...
peeps.
I can have affairs with television, I can have affairs with being an author and a bunch of things. But at my core, my spirit is music. Like music and I are one and the same.
Thing.
And I think because for the very same thing you're talking about, it's a beautiful escape for me. It's a beautiful, expressive way. And I don't have to make an effort.
Yes.
Like, I don't think notes, ne?
Yeah.
Like,
they just come out of you.
and, and to a point that it surprises even me. And then I know that's my connection with God because of how effortless it is.
Yeah.
Cool. So I want to find out for you, like, I've met a lot of women, and I know that even my own story, my journey into womanhood, and that moment when I realized, it's like,
Isn't to say she cheated.
yeah, I'm grown. Like,
There's a
when
difference,
they say woman, naming baliwe in that line. And I know that the different women that I've spoken to, each of their journeys have been very different depending on their circumstances. So one of the critical things that I want to ask you is, one, have you realized that you are now what's considered a woman? And two, what does that mean to you? When someone says you are a woman, what does that mean for you?
Yes. I have realized that I've transformed into what they consider a woman.
Yes.
I think from the understanding of like the transition, I remember when I shot a video for Mtasekaya.
Yes. Which is beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes.
The song is about the coming of age.
Yes.
And I know that, like, traditionally when you turn a certain age, they kind of consider you that way. They'll celebrate you in that light.
Yeah.
But I didn't get that chance because my mom passed away.
Yes.
And then I shot the video a year later. But for me, that kind of meant I had to be more cautious and protective of myself, of my spirit, of
Yeah.
my well-being. I had to actually make a decision
Okay.
about being a woman, about now
Okay.
kind of like adapting to a new lifestyle
Wow.
and knowing that these are the changes that I'm going to make in my life and the kind of questions I wanted to answer in my life about the things that I'd been going through
Yeah.
and obviously the kind of person that I wanted to be. So I took some time out to kind of like retreat, isolated myself for a while.
Yeah.
No TV, just music. And if I wasn't writing or trying to find work or trying to do something important for myself, I was sleeping, resting my body, taking care of it, just so that I can be prepared for moments like this, so that I can be sound when I speak to you and tell you about the things that I've gone through that have helped me overcome.
Yeah.
So it's a really strange connection that you have with yourself.
Yeah.
After you realize that that's how you feel and that's who you want to become and that you're no longer that girl anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you saying for you, like the loss of your mum is what then pushed you to a position where, having missed the ritual that takes
The actual
place,
process, yeah.
so that it meant like, okay, so now you have to do your own kind of ritual for yourself and decide what those things are because there's not anyone there.
I felt like there was a gap, but I also felt like even though my mom wasn't able to do it for me, I wanted to do it for her.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
You're making sense. Okay.
I'm just trying not to cry.
No, it's all right. Tell me, what do you love most about yourself? Would you like us to stop?
I love that I have a big heart. And that sometimes I'm misunderstood. And there's a beauty in that. You miss the people that don't need to be a part of your life to catch the ones that do. And I've been blessed to be able to have foresight into my life and into my life and into the things that I hope for. I've been lucky enough to smile through all of it.
Yeah.
I've been lucky enough to not die because of it. And I've been strong enough to fight through it, literally tooth and nail. And no remorse, no shame. I've been accountable for every choice. And I feel like my responsibilities only get bigger.
Yeah.
None of that ever changes.
Yeah.
But I think knowing where I am now,
Yeah.
I think I'm capable of carrying a lot more.
Nice.
I think I'm ready for a lot more.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just being able to get a certain level of discipline,
Yeah.
you know, fire at your ambitions.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I think that's kind of like the motivation in me, the spark that keeps it going.
I love that.
I didn't know how to help. I wanted to help.
Yeah, I understand.
I think I kind of suffered from heartbreak.
Yeah.
And I haven't really been able to heal.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to understand why this is happening.
Yeah. Do you think your life would have turned out differently had your dad consistently been in your life?
I think it would have been different. But my dad wasn't inconsistent. When I was younger, I lived with him. So me and a few of my other siblings lived with him in Mlazi. And obviously my parents were not together, so I'd spend time with my mom while I was living with my dad because my dad would take me to school.
Yeah.
Throughout my high school career, my dad fell ill.
Okay.
And then in my matric year, he passed away.
Okay.
And then, I don't know, it's just like, my relationship with my parents is like, it's on and off.
Okay.
My whole life, because they've been so separate, and because they've run my life so separately, that I only felt like I got bits and pieces. I got to experience just bits and pieces.
Of each of them.
Yeah, of each of them.
How has that impacted you?
It's just bittersweet. It's just bittersweet because I mean, even though I'm grateful, like I've been independent, or just even from a mindset perspective, I've been an independent person since I was 11.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's nice to have someone over time.
I know.
So, I mean, it's been bittersweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't put it any other way.
Yeah.
You know, and then, you know, straight after high school, he had passed. I hadn't really dealt with a lot of the things that were going on in my life, but I had to come straight to Joburg.
Of course.
And then spend time here recording some music. And then after the summer nomination, my mom was like, yeah, okay, so it's about that time where we show and prove, and it's been this much time, you've been in this situation for this long, and before we started this whole thing, you said you'd go to school, you get an education, and I need you to be a woman of your word. And I said to her, okay, but now, so what must I do with this whole career thing that I've just started? I have an album going on here, I'm releasing stuff, now things are moving. Moms, what do you mean,
This is
babes?
the time to be pushing.
My mom was like, yeah, you know, honestly, you're still asking me for airtime.
So just really not going if you're asking me for airtime.
to come and study something, anything at all.
Yeah.
And then I left the record label. I went home to study. And then I stayed in Germany for 4 years, started a business, studied, worked at a call center for 2.5 years, interned at a radio station,
Wow.
recorded music at the same time. I used to host events on Thursday nights at a club on Florida Road. But I used to do this all at the same time, like just kind of try to find like gaps in
Bits and
between
pieces, yeah.
to try and like do as much as I can. And then I did a couple auditions. One of them brought me to Johannesburg. And then I realized I wanted to come back. So I told my mom, I was like, okay, in 6 months, I don't know how I'm gonna get the money, but I've gotta go. The minute I moved back to Joburg, my mom fell ill.
Yeah.
2014. And then they didn't tell us immediately what it was until maybe like a week or so later. So, I mean, I go visit my mom, I go see her, but like, I didn't know how to help. I wanted to help.
Yeah, I understand.
I think I kind of suffered from heartbreak.
Yeah.
And I haven't really been able to heal.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to understand why. Why this is happening.
Yeah.
I also don't think I've dealt with it properly, which is why I tear up every time I talk about it. But I haven't been able to focus on anything else but work. Like, that's kind of the one thing that's kept me going. Where I didn't feel like I was gonna spiral into some depression.
Yeah.
Or lose myself. So I had to just fixate on something else.
Yeah.
But I really did go through a genuine heartbreak.
Yeah, broken hearted. Yeah. Do you feel you have any strategies that help you manage and cope with the pain and the grief? And if so, what are those?
I kind of try to let it be. Like, I like being able to vent in the moment. Just dealing with things head on at that moment. Getting it over, done with, and then keeping it moving kind of helps. Instead of just like harboring certain emotions and like letting them consume you. Obviously, unless it's something very delicate and you feel like it's not something you can just like deal with right away. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of the time, like all the things I can control, I try to deal with as immediately as possible. I think that's helped. I think I like yoga. Do a bit of yoga.
Yeah, so that helps.
Yeah, just breathing, because I feel like that's how the anxiety builds up.
Yeah.
I've just had to learn like not to be so hard on myself.
Yeah.
Smiling has been the hardest thing for me.
Yeah.
Smiling has been one of the most difficult things for me, because I always just felt like if I don't feel like smiling, why should I? Yeah.
Why should you fake it?
Exactly. Even if there's nothing wrong with me, even if like I'm not mad or upset or sad, people just associate smiling with like an automatic happiness, and I just felt like even if I'm not smiling, it doesn't make me less happy. But I do need to practice doing that a bit more, because it does change my mood. It does make the room a little lighter. You move a little easier. So I'm just practicing those things. Just kind of being able to open up to people again. Have conversations like this without using my notes or my makeup.
Okay.
I think for the most part.
Tell me about your faith or your relationship with God. What's that? Does one exist?
Yes.
And you guys fellas, you call yourselves bros?
A little casual.
Okay. Yeah?
Yeah, Prakod.
Okay, tell me about Prakod.
He is amazing.
Okay.
And magnificent. And he filters magnificence and amazement through me. And he's taught me how to listen to myself, to listen to the things I want, to prepare and plan how I'd like to achieve those things. He's like this gold deposit on my face right now.
Yeah.
He's my glow up. Yeah.
That's lovely.
So that's the kind of relationship we have. Yeah.
That's very. And does that relationship require you to go to church every Sunday, or it's a very unique
It's
situation?
a very unique, very tailored relationship.
Very unique and tailored. I haven't heard it described in that way before, but yeah, but we'll take it.
Very
Tailored,
tailored.
hashtag tailored relationship. Wonderful.
Yeah.
I want to say, having known you for so long,
Yeah.
and realizing how much you've gone through over the years,
Yeah.
I think that you're a remarkable woman.
Thank you.
I think that it will take a lot of endurance, a lot of strength, and like I said earlier, a lot of like self-awareness and self-assurance in order for one to survive and to live through all the things you've lived through. And I think that we all make mistakes, and I'm sure I have, and I'm sure you have. But I think one of the things that I appreciate most and I love most about you is that like you're a cat with 9 lives. in a good way. Do you know what I mean? It's like when that one goes like, still got 8 more to go. Do you know what I mean? And somehow then the 8 converts into 9 and then it's like this infinite, And I think you're a beautiful spirit, Tamarsha.
Thank
you know, and I'm sorry for the hardships that you've gone through, but I feel so assured that, you know, they are making you stronger, even though it's still tough.
Yeah, it's a little touchy.
You know what I mean? Yeah, but still, like, you know, I say now for me, I count everything as a blessing for me that I've gone through, because I can reflect back at 35 and look at, I promise you, every single experience, including the one we were talking about earlier, so far as relationships are concerned. I can look at everything that I've gone through in my life and actually have gratitude towards it, because I recognize that had that not happened,
exactly.
then this wouldn't have happened. Then I wouldn't have thought this way. Then I wouldn't have done that. Do you know what I mean? And so one of the things that I do really love most about my God, having mocked Romans 8:28, is that actually all things do work out for good, and that good sometimes takes a long time to come. It's like, when is the good coming? You know.
The lesson that I think most probably has taken me the longest to learn, also because I've just been through a lot, is just to find a sense of enjoyment. Being able to just like actually look for the pleasure in the things that you do, even if the things that you do are not planned.
What is the lesson that's taken you the most to learn?
The lesson that I think most probably has taken me the longest to learn, also because I've just been through a lot, is just to find a sense of enjoyment.
Okay.
Being able to just like actually look for the pleasure in the things that you do, even if the things that you do are not planned.
Okay.
Have
fun whilst doing it.
Yeah, but just like find something good, anything at all. Doesn't matter what it is, but like go home at least going, okay, Shab, I almost got killed, but I'm alive.
There's a silver lining in everything.
I think that's a good enough, kind of a thing. There's a silver lining in everything.
That's pretty cool.
And just being able to recognize what it looks like.
Yeah. Complete this sentence. If I had 1 billion rand, the first thing I'd buy would be... No, don't try to give me a smart question. What's the first thing? Like I said, 1 billion, and then you run to the shop and you get a...
I would probably get a new laptop.
That's good. I'm getting a phone. It's just like
Fancy.
I'm getting a phone.
And a phone,
I'm stopping at a makeup shop. I am buying
Kuningi, girl.
everything without
Every color.
without thinking about it. I am
dope.
redoing my walk-in wardrobe.
Nice.
Yeah, and converting my whole house pretty much into a wardrobe itself.
That's dope.
Okay, I'm most happy when?
I am sleeping. taking naps.
Yeah.
I just enjoy taking naps. Also because I just work super duper hard.
Okay.
And I use my voice a lot, so sometimes this section of my body needs to rest the most.
Okay.
So when I'm around other people, they expect you to talk. If you're not talking, you're sulking. There's something wrong with you.
Cool.
So when I'm sleeping,
And just a piece.
happy place.
That's nice.
Yeah.
What would you say is your superpower? Like you do it like effortlessly. That's my power.
Cooking.
Tamarsha, you've never cooked for me. How is cooking your superpower?
I am actually not that bad.
Serious? When did this happen?
I've always known how to cook. I just never did it. And maybe in the beginning I was a little rusty, but I think I've picked up a few things.
Okay.
I think like it's starting to take over all the other superpowers as like the key superpower.
Nice.
Yeah, so
I want to talk about body image.
yes.
I've always been, now they called plus size. I never thought at the time
It was a plus size.
I'm like, what?
I would have never guessed
Do you know what I
either.
mean? Yeah. but I've always been like a chubby little girl with Izito from the time I was small. And I actually never had any issues because all the women around me
Were the
at home
same, yeah.
were the same. So in fact, I was actually the skinniest in
Out of-
comparison
yeah.
to everyone at home. And I think for me, body image continues to be like a sore point. It continues to be a hard discussion. It continues to be a challenging thing, both in one, learning to love myself as I am, but two, taking the responsibility that if I don't think I am the type of body that I want to be, actively doing something. I'm currently on some diet pills, like
As we speak.
like right now, like I've gone to the doctor.
on and popping.
I've gone to the doctor and I've begged her for new pills. I've gone elsewhere. I had a massage last week. Yeah, it's a big thing. And I know that sometimes when I'm sitting with other women who are like slightly bigger than me, they're always like, "What's your issue?" Because what we want is to be as
certain
small
way, yeah,
as you,
possible,
whereas
yeah.
I'm sitting here going, "Oh my gosh, my thighs are touching when I'm walking," type of vibe. And the reason actually I want to talk to you about it is because I saw some of the images on Instagram,
Yeah.
which I know have had
Mixed
mixed emotions.
Yeah.
So they've had like a lot of people going, "Oh my goodness, that's beautiful that
Yeah.
you could embrace your own body, that you have no shyness or shame about the way you look." And I suppose the courage that it would have taken to actually
Do something
be
like
like,
that, yeah.
boom, this is me, curves, boutte, you take
it
it
or
or
leave
leave it. So I wanted to ask you, what is your relationship with yourself so far as your body is concerned, and what has it taken for you to get to that point?
I kind of beat myself up about it all the time.
Serious.
I do, but I don't talk down at the conversation. I just say, "Oh, but babes, also, you know that little chicken wing you had there? It's not the one, eh?
Yeah.
You must make wilder choices, okay? Tomorrow's a new day."
We'll start again.
And then
We'll start again, and then tomorrow is another chicken wing, but
I mean, at least I didn't have bread, you know, so like I'll negotiate.
with yourself.
I'll negotiate with
Yeah.
myself, and I think just keeping in mind like some of the things that I used to eat and the things that I choose to eat now.
Yeah.
It's a little different. Obviously, I know a little bit better, but I think I've never really, even though it's like been a prerequisite in some of the work that I do to look a certain way, just based on like the structure of whatever show or whatever affiliation I might have with
Yeah.
that particular production. I mean, respectfully, I don't mind doing it. It's like being an actor. I don't mind actually getting to a place
Ready
where
for the role.
I don't mind, to
Yeah.
get ready for the role.
Yeah.
But from a personal perspective, I could have chicken all day until the sun sets.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be a thing.
Okay.
And if you came up to me and thought that I was having too much chicken, I'd be like, "Well then, babe, bye." Because in this table, we eat chicken.
Yeah, and if you're not feeling that,
Go get something else, you know.
Okay.
So I've had to defend it, but like just finding a better way so that it doesn't affect me later. I don't have to like spend the rest of my days thinking about that person who said that about me.
Yeah.
And make consideration towards my personal weight choices, body choices.
because are you happy
choices.
with the way with your weight and the way you look? Because you know what, like a lot of women aren't.
Yeah.
And if you are, I want to know how
How you doing it?
No, for real. Like
Yeah.
if you are, when I look at you, I don't say Tamasha's skinny. I don't also say Tamasha's necessarily fat because it's not like wobble. That's not what I'm talking about. But still, you're a big boned girl, and a lot of people have, and a lot of women specifically struggle with one, what's portrayed out there in terms of what you are supposed to look like.
Yeah.
But two, the self-realization that we are all different and we are all unique and that it's a different journey for each of us. And so I'm yet to meet even there's another woman that I was talking to who's smaller than me.
And she's not happy.
And she was complaining about her stomach. So I was sitting there going, oh, there's no hope again. When now you have issues with the fact that your tummy is not small. Do you understand that I'm currently wearing 2 Spanx right now? There's 2 Spanx, and when I have to change, I have to wiggle myself out of it. Do you know what I mean? And so for me, like if you are saying you are happy with the way you look, that is like
a thing. Oh, yeah. That's actually a thing.
That's like a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But then I genuinely want to know, how have you gotten to that space where so few people have been to, where you can actually settle in the way you are and the way you look and find comfort and not be bothered by other things? Do you know what I'm saying?
I do. I think even though I'm happy the way that I am and the way that my body's become, I'm not necessarily satisfied all the time about all of it.
Okay.
But it doesn't make me sad.
Okay.
It doesn't upset me. I don't obsess over it. I think when I'm ready to exercise, I actually commit and I will exercise.
And you do it.
Yeah, but like it's not like I've been dying to get rid of this. December's coming. Like it's not like a race that I'm running, that I'm trying to catch up with everything else and
That's
the
good.
seasons. So I just kind of try to like have my own seasons. And I think it's working pretty well for me. I know that like a lot of people aren't sure about bigger women opening up to like being in lingerie or being in a bikini, just because of like the ideas that other people have of what is accepted and the appropriate perception.
Okay.
It was my choice. And now I will question myself for the next few weeks, maybe months.
We had an option of 2 pathways to walk, and they led to 2 doorways. It was a bit confronting, actually, to be honest, to see these big signs and feeling like you had to choose and be self-conscious of how you perceive yourself and perhaps if it lines up with how the rest of the world perceives you.
I went through the average door.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I didn't even hesitate.
漂亮对我的概念来说，就是像明星那种遥不可及的那种。我走的是一般。
Mas eu acho que é mais porque eu me arrependi da escolha, porque era diferente do que eu vivo, é diferente do que eu sou.
Am I choosing because of what's constantly bombarded at me, what I'm being told that I should accept, or am I choosing because that's what I really believe?
I walked into that door with said average and I didn't feel really good after that. Because obviously I had rated myself average and nobody else.
Todos os dias eu passo pela porta comum e ontem foi um dia único e eu optei por passar pelo bonita.
I wanted to go through the average door, but my mum just pulled me over to the beautiful door.
It was quite a triumphant feeling. It was like telling the world, I think I'm beautiful.
I just wish more young women realized it.
要是再给我一次机会走那扇门的话，我觉得我应该会选很美的扇门。
I think I would walk through the beautiful door.
Acho que a porta bonita tá completamente aberta para mim.
Maybe I could walk in that door.
You can.
Next time I look into the mirror, I will see somebody really beautiful looking back at me.
Beautiful is a great word. So why not see what's on the other side of that?
I feel very privileged to have had you on the show. It's a bit surreal with our journey, but it's just so lovely, and I appreciate your honesty.
Thank you.
And your willingness to share your heart. And I'm hoping someone who's out there who's watching, who's gone through, losing both parents at such a young age is tough. But I think that you are the epitome that stuff, bad and hard things will happen to people, but they don't have to knock you out.
Yes.
Like a lot of people have endured a lot of things and have allowed the circumstances to define who they are, and they've allowed either the loss of mom and dad or the hustle of work, and they've easily given up. And one of the reasons I really wanted you on the show was to be able to tell your story so people can see that it rains on everyone. It is about the key thing which you said much earlier. It's the choice that you made, that, okay, this, as hard as it is, this won't kill me. Like there's still
more to do.
There's still more to do, more life to live, more life to live, more love to give, more love to receive. It doesn't change that this is hard, but I refuse to be defeated by this, and I think that you well and truly embody that, and it's been my greatest privilege to have you on Deep and Meaningful. So I won't make you cry anymore.
Tamarsha, thank you for your vulnerability and for reminding us that true strength comes when we first acknowledge our weakness. I hope you were both inspired and encouraged by this young lady's story. If you are struggling with grief, please know that you are not alone. There are people around you who care, and there are resources available if you're willing to look for them. Like life, it's a journey. Don't give up. Now stay blessed till we see each other next week.
Prevail, don't even doubt it. Don't even doubt it. Oh, so much has happened, just pray about it. You will succeed, don't even doubt it. Don't even doubt it. Oh, it always seems harder before it gets easier. Gets easier. Oh, just keep pressing on and you will survive it, yeah. Survive it, yeah. Pull Cause you know that, cause you know that. Hey, cause you know that, cause you know that his time is yours.
You are your own creator. You are such an amazing soul. You are beautiful. You are precious. You are a molder of wonders, a conqueror, a master, a sculptor of richness. Be shameless, gracious, just boldness. Be proudest and shoutest, the loudest of greatness. Be proud. That's the carry.